Okay, we'll see if anybody shows up. Guess I could tip that on up. Oh, I'm just propping the phone. Maybe it will fall. There we go. Maybe working on the fur mantle in the basement with Mom. Mom's over there.
Oh, you're doing. Oh, okay.
Mom's over there.
Yeah, I'm over here.
She's in her captain's chair.
Yes. Right.
And I'm going to try to thread a needle. I need to eat my snack. I've got to get this thing done. It's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world, but it's going to be a cheap alternative for somebody that's wanting something to wear to a Ren Fair without paying $224 or two. They're mostly like $200, $180, and I just think that's absurd. So we're going to give somebody an alternative. I don't know if I'm going to back it or not. We'll see. I don't know. See if I'm feeling it. Howdy, say howdy when you come in. We are sewing in the basement with Mom. I'm working on the fur mantle, making it out of old vintage sables. So here's what we've got so far. It's going to be a cheap alternative for somebody that's going to a Renaissance fair or something. There's the chain. And I'm fixing to add, I'm sewing some old ones together to add layers. We're getting there on it. We're getting there. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to be cute. It's going to be a very nice option for somebody. Mom's working on a quilt, baby quilt. Babies are everywhere in this family right now. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Okay, that's a way to start a chat out. So I'm sewing these furs together, these old fur sables. I'm saving one that's got a V in it for the bottom, trying to add some structural interest. I don't know if it'll work or not. We'll see. I've got to double sew everything because I didn't bring my leather. I didn't bring my leather thread. So I don't know, like everybody, I've never been to a Renaissance fair, but like it's becoming a very big thing. Like they even have, oh, I've got a knot in my thread. They've even got like Viking craft fairs around here to where you take like stuff that they would make their Viking costumes out of. It's becoming a big deal. So I thought, I've got all these extra fur sables to where like when you buy lots in auctions, they always stick one of these in there. I think they just get rid of them. And I thought, how can we use these so that they don't go to waste? So I thought, let's put them together and build a fur mantle. So that's what we're going to do because I don't want them to waste. They're still really good quality. They're just old. But they need to be used. So that's what we're doing, finding a way to use these so they don't go to waste. And I have just put a huge knot in my thread right off the get-go because I'm talented. Don't know what it caught on. Something horrendous, I guess. Well, we may just have to start over on this one. Let's just start over. I got a huge knot going. I don't know how I did that. Not a clue, not a clue, not a clue. But I'm going through multiple layers to sew these together, which is probably why they're doing that. I have no idea. So that was quite a way to start a live. Oh, you like my, which one? I've got so many on. I've got multiples on. He said, I like your, or she I like your ring. I was like, which one? I've got multiples on. I've got so many on. Happy birthday, Summer. So if y'all have ever seen my channel before, probably not. My husband is a fur trapper tanner. And we do a lot of fur art, native art, and we've been asked to do a lot of these like Renaissance fair inclined things, and I hadn't really got into it. But then I was scrolling through Etsy the other day and saw that somebody had taken a fox hide and just put a $3 clasp on it and wanted $224 for a mantle. And I thought, that's rude. You only did like 30 minutes of work, and it's only like a $60 hide. So I thought, well, I've got all these fur sables. I've looked at pictures. They do this. So I thought, I'm going to put all these fur sables together and make somebody a cheap alternative to a fur mantle for a Renaissance. Yeah, I have a little red-headed boy too. I mean, red-headed boy. He's not boy anymore. He's grown, got kids of his own. Kid of his own. Oh, I bet you that I watch him. They're going to have another one now. I said that and it didn't even sound wrong. But yeah, we're Irish, German, and Cherokee all mixed in. I'm not Eastern Band though, or I'd be rich. We couldn't get that lucky, could we? Yeah. If I was Eastern Band Cherokee, I'd be rolling in the money. Those people make some bank. Did you know that the Eastern Cherokee land is its own land into itself, its own nation? They don't even have to follow federal law, but they're kind enough they kind of do. But they're a standalone nation within our nation, the Cherokee Eastern Band. It's really neat if you look into it. So I don't know if any of y'all have ever worked with fur before, but it is kind of a pain in the butt. But when I saw that lady had these for $224, I thought, no, somebody needs a cheaper alternative to go to a Renaissance fair. I mean, you just need a costume. It doesn't have to be perfect. And if you're just starting out going to these things, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of your money. And I thought I could make somebody a cheaper alternative. So this will go on Etsy. My husband has an Etsy store, and he basically buys everything so I can craft because it keeps me sane. And if I make something really pretty, I'm like, here, you can have it. You can have it. Not hardly fire flame. You can just go on. I'm sewing. I am a granny. 3 times over. It's a badge of honor. So I'm sewing these old vintage sables together to make a fur mantle because I'm trying to give somebody a cheap alternative to a Renaissance fair. Backpedal. I will tell the newbies in here, I'm a retired parole officer, so don't be saying crappy stuff on here because I do know how to take care of that. I used to supervise murders for the state. I used to do counseling as well. I used to be a wilderness boot camp counselor. Had a boy throw an axe at me, had a bunch of leg surgeries. That was pleasant. That is a quilting machine. That's a quilting machine behind me. Somebody thought it was a telescope. It's a quilting machine. So somebody thought it was a telescope. It's a quilting machine. So here's the handles where you drive it. And this is the top. This is the batting and the bottom. And you stitch it all together and you have to walk down. It's a very big quilting machine. It's my mom's. She's over here sewing. I just thought I'd check in and let everybody know. I've just had a lot of troll traffic lately because apparently YouTube has decided to throw me out in the algorithm and feed me to the wolves. So we have a lot of people running through that are not the caliber of people I would really like here, but we just sift through y'all. We do find some decent people though. But we have to go through a lot of before. So what I do is I do these lives. I call them baseline lives. So I get your behavior before you know me, before I know you. It's just what you do on a whim. And then I know how you behave. And then if I see you come in again and do stupid stuff, I know that I can go back and look at this live chat at any time and say, oh no, that's not somebody I want here, and I can just go ahead and block you. So this is where I kind of get to know you, get to know the caliber of information that you put into the live, and if you're worthy to be on this channel when I'm here. If not, we just block you. And then I'll look at patterns of how you talk, the words you choose. And if you change your name, I can normally identify you by the patterns of the words you choose. And I know it's you, and I block you again. So this is how I figure out everybody. I'm sewing, this looks like Cody, and this is like a rabbit mix. I'm just sewing all these old fur sables together and just making something for somebody to use that I can offer to them at a very discounted price from what, you know, if they're just going to a Renaissance fair the first time, you don't want to spend a bunch of money on your outfit the first time. So give them an option there. They don't, you know, wasting all their money on something they won't use but just a few times a year. Hi, Mickey. Lord Mickey, we've got some people in here. Lord Mickey, you want a wrench? I'll give you a wrench, Mickey. Turn you loose with a wrench. Let you mod. I know I can trust you. I totally will give you one if you want one. Apparently, YouTube has thrown me out into the algorithm. It's really funny because they said, oh, you've got 2 AdSense. We're going to have to demonetize you. We're going to fix this. I've only ever signed up for AdSense once. They're wanting us to close our account, which would make us lose all the money we've banked and start over. And I'm fussing with them about it, but they're keeping me in a not monetized position right now, which makes me mad because we would have, by the end of February, had a little over $200 to get and break up and send to North Carolina. And they're not even going to let me have it unless I've requested, you know, I'm fussing with them and just requesting my monetization back. And I'm fussing with them about AdSense because I've never signed up for it before. There's only one account. And I've paid attention, and I've noticed that a lot of the trapping channels have been demonetized or banned. And I'm like, I bet you they're trying to do something to this channel. And I'm just going to fuss with them the whole way. So we're hoping that we can get it figured out because we don't want to lose what has been made up to now. And I guess when all that happened, they decided they'd throw me out to the algorithm and let the wolves have me. And so we've got a lot of troll traffic right now. That's why I'm doing these lives, so I can kind of see how everybody behaves and log their behavior and know if I need to get rid of them or not. YouTube really does make it hard on the creators when they do this because I don't like when I have a lot of troll traffic. I'd rather be at my little corner, nobody know I'm here, and just talk to the people that are determined to find me, not the masses. So, and this is the second one I've put together since I've been here. So we've got this one and this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them cattywampus so that each one's got a dark and a light on each side. I think I'm going to do them like that. So that, and then the other side would be like this. And yeah, I'm going to put that one first. So now I'm going to put this one onto this one. And a lot of it has to be hand sewed, and it's a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. I'm wanting to have different length edges is what I'm going for, so that I have some character to it, but it's, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just finding the middle here to add more. It's going to be quite weighty. I'm very tickled. Raspberry. Oh, is it raspberry? Learn something every day. I like to learn things. Here, Mickey, I will give you another icon. There you go, Mickey. You have a wrench now. So she can mod and kick people out and block things, and it helps because, whoa, I had up to 85 in here a minute ago, and that's just too many people for me to manage. Especially the quality of people that come here. You have to not pay attention to half of them. I had a weirdo start emailing me the other day, and I was like, sir, I now know your name, your phone number, your last 3 addresses, and do you want to continue this? He decided not. Oh, I knocked my phone. I'm so sorry. Look here's all the quilts she's working on right here. Well, some of them, not all of them. And then she's been making coasters, those long together oven mitts that you get casserole dishes out of the oven with. What do you call them?
Oven mitt.
But it's the one long one where your hands go on each end and you can get casserole dishes and stuff out. And they're awesome. I used mine. Well, I've used it several times, but I used it on a casserole that I'd had in the oven at 400 for like an hour and a half, 15 minutes or so, and didn't feel a thing. So they work. And she's got pot handle covers. She's making a little bit of everything. She needs, hello Edwin, I'm good. She needs an Etsy store, but I can't talk her into doing one. But she needs one because she's got a whole quilt shop down here in her basement. So let me get this anchored, and then I'll try to hold it up where you can see it as I sew. It's starting to get very heavy with, I've now got 4 sables attached to it. Oh, I broke my string. No, I didn't. Missed. There we go. I've got 4 sables attached to it. It's getting quite heavy. Quite heavy. And when I get this home, what I may do is just do reinforcing stitches with some leather thread. And it's what it is just a thread that is kind of like faux sinew. And it's got a little bit of wire in it as well. And it's just very thick, very hard to break. It's just good for leather. But I forgot it when I came down here this week. So I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to kind of do safety stitches when I get home with it. But that's okay. I started my crochet project earlier. I'm on the 4th round. Like it drove me nuts. It's always the first couple rounds because you have nothing to hold on to. It's pathetic. And my hands don't work the best. If y'all know my health stuff, my hands don't work the best in the world. So trying to hang on to them things, and when you just have the starting, it's a pain in the butt. But I've got it down to 4 rounds. The sad thing is I'm doing a tiny little dinosaur for my grandbabies. So it's not going to be very much to hang on to the whole time I'm working on it. So I'm just trying to be super careful and patient. And patience is, I have never prayed for patience, because then the Lord will teach you patience. And I don't, that's a lesson I don't need to have. Because that one will hurt. My age, I'm 46. 46. And my glasses are falling. I do not speak that. I don't know what you just said. I don't speak that. I'm trying to get all these edges caught because I've got a little split in the seam on the other one. Oh, well, thank you, Edwin. I don't know how I still look younger than my age is, because I've had really horrible jobs that really tried me, and I just don't know how I'm gonna say it's the chipmunk cheeks that make me look younger. But you can tell where I dye my gray, it's lighter. I have a little, not a lot, I have a little up here. You can tell where I have gray, it's lighter. This is pretty close to my hair color. It's got a red cast to it, but where I just colored it, it's a little vibrant right now to calm down in a few days. But I have a red cast to my auburn hair. It used to look like the limousine heifer that I showed when I was showing cattle. We had the same hair color. I have a picture somewhere that has us together. We had the same hair color. And then I had my little redheaded boy, and my hair darkened, but it still has a pretty good red cast to it. So now that I'm getting gray, I try to make it disappear. Hi, Jeremy. Okay, so I've got the middle anchor here. So now we're going to have 4 layers to this. And I'm just putting all the different furs together, making it look like a piece, just like the Vikings would. They would piece it out of multiple animals. I'm trying to get my husband to give me a full coyote hide, because I want to make one full coyote mantle. That would be pretty. Now that one will be rather expensive, because I have to get enough to justify using the whole hide. But I thought this might be a nice option for somebody going to a Renaissance fair that doesn't want, well, thank you, that doesn't want to spend a bunch of money on their outfit because there's really no need. I'm starting to sag a little bit in my old age where I smile a lot. But you know, we earn the wrinkles, so I'm okay with it. If y'all knew how many violent offenders I had supervised and dealt with, you'd be amazed that I don't have more wrinkles than I do, especially stress wrinkles. And I don't have a lot of stress wrinkles, and you would think I would have a lot of stress wrinkles. I am 46, almost 47, be 47 in a few months. And my shirt is too big. So I'm just doing a simple stitch to hook these together. Just around the edge. Just to catch everything. I'm making sure I'm going at both sides of this seam over here because it's split a little bit. And I may line the inside when I get done. I mean, it's already lined, but I may line it to cover these. But then again, I really don't have to because if they don't have it on the shoulders, it's going to have it around their waist at a festival. So really, I don't have to. If the more work I put into it, the more it has to cost. And I'm trying to give somebody a really cheap alternative to the fur mantles that I've been seeing everywhere else on the internet because I wouldn't pay for one, and my husband's a trapper tanner. I wouldn't pay for one. So if you look at the videos, you're going to see a lot. My husband is basically the brain behind the channel and the money behind the channel. He does everything. I just show up, and because I have a lot of health issues, I show up when I feel good, and I craft and I do lives and I talk. But his videos and his skills are the reason for the channel. And so if you go and look at the videos, you'll see him setting snares for coyotes. You'll see him trapping coyotes. You'll see him explaining stuff about what he's doing. And it's pretty neat. I will agree with you there. You wouldn't catch me doing that. This is tough, y'all. This takes a lot to get through all these layers. It's pathetic. And it's warming up here today, so now where the temp has changed much in the last week, I am burning up. Because it was freezing here last week, and now it's spring-like. Ow. Found a very difficult spot to get through.
Got a big thick needle.
Yeah, I got a pretty decent needle here. The other ones had a blunt tip on them, so I had to find one that had a sharp tip on it. So we've got about that much of the fourth round sewed. So it's going to look like they put a bunch of hides together to make their mantle. And on the sides, it's going to have different lengths. So it'll be a little bit interesting. But these were sables that we got in auction lots. And they come with other stuff that we purchased. And I just wanted to use them. I hate for them to waste because they're still really good fur. There's no reason for them to have to waste. Hair. First got what? The quilting machine?
Hmm.
We're asking questions.
It's been a pain in the butt.
Yeah, mom has a love-hate relationship with her quilting machine because it could be a butthole. So this is just, it takes time. Hand stitching takes time. And if I go back and line it and cover all this up, it'll take a lot of time. But I may throw it up without a lining and see if somebody wants it, and then if it doesn't sell, I'll put a lining on it. But I think somebody that's just wanting a cheap alternative will not mind that it's not lined, because if it's not on the shoulders, it's going to be on their hips. So, oh, I thought that it was going to majorly impede my trail riding, because I trail road cut trails for a facility in our area that's got like 12,000 miles of trails, and I was cutting trails for them when I was a young teenager. I'd head out on my little horsey and mark trails and lob off overhanging limbs, mark creek crossings. I guided a few trail rides, but I did not enjoy that. I would rather go out and do maintenance on the trails than guide. I don't really care about guiding trail rides. I don't do any of that anymore, though, because my legs are so messed up from where I had that boy throw an axe at me. If I want to ride, I've got plenty of friends that still ride. I can just go and hop on one of their horses. But my body's broke down now. I wouldn't even want to. But I used to be quite the little Amazon. I'm not anymore. No, you'll be fine. Mother Nature always has a way. So, does anybody here know anybody that still does fur tanning, like traps and tans, does their own? Does anybody? Because around here, and I'm in Appalachia, it's a skill set that's still dying. But now a lot of the young people are getting interested in it again and trying to bring it back. So my husband has taught several youngins how to trap. He's got one that's tanning and doing garment quality clothes, and his name is what is his name? Oh my gosh, it's a really old name. What is it? Oh no, they'll never find it. What is it?
I can't remember. I don't know what.
Oh, it's an old name, and he has made some really awesome pieces of clothing, and they go for high dollar. So he's trying to boost his skills at a young age so he can turn this into something when he's older. And he is quite the talented little booger, and he tries to buy all of his fur off my husband. Of course, my husband, he always gives a kid discounts. So if a kid's trying to learn anything about the old ways, he's completely gonna give him a discount and help him in any way he can. And so, but that young man is super talented. He's going places, and he sews really nice. He hand sews everything, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. What is his name? I want to say Hezekiah, but it's not Hezekiah. I don't know, but he's such a talented little boy. And he's only 12, 13. He's been doing this since he was like 9. Very talented young man. So, but a lot of people don't, they don't know how this stuff is done. They don't understand. They don't understand how land can get overrun and things need to be balanced. My husband basically has this year and last year has been just working for one huge cattle farm that is trying to get the numbers of the predators in the area down to a manageable number, because the land was sick, the animals that were there were sick, and it's starting to look better. We're starting to get some birds back. We're starting to get some turkeys that are able to sit on their nest, because we had a lot of nest predators there. So the land is starting to look healthy again. It's starting to. It's going to take a few more years. Mom's ironing. That's why the table's sticking.
All right.
Okay, so now I've got that much. So this is slow going. It's just a long process, y'all. Do a couple more, I'll have to rethread my needle. But most people don't know anyone that does this stuff. So some people get on my channel and they, they've never walked off a payment and they get really offended by how we live. And then I'm like, hey, hello, Emma. But some people, that are a little bit more attuned to it, they enjoy seeing the stuff that we create, and it's kind of neat. My husband does have an Etsy store. It's Hillbilly Heart Decor. And he's got some raccoons, some raccoon pelts, some beaver pelts. He got me a bunch of stuff for Christmas to craft with, and I made some Christmas stuff, and it's on there discounted right now. Just kind of a mix. We try to keep about 12 to 15 things on there at any given time, but I do know that he's fixing to load his bobcat pelts on there. He's got a couple left over from last year, so I think he's going to put his bobcat pelts on pretty soon. So if you want a bobcat pelt, he's going to be putting those on probably next week. Okay, we've got that much. We've got the middle of it sewed. So we're just making it look like a Viking that is, had to harvest a bunch of animals to patch together his mantle. And we need to sew the rest of these together. And they're all going to be at different lengths on the side, just to give it some free, loosey flowing. And so it's going to take me a while to finish sewing this, but it's got a chain to hold it together. I do have some different clasps. If I don't like the way that one looks, I'll change it out. But right now, I'm not worried about it. Now I've got to get all the fur off of me. It's not as bad as I thought it'd be. I'll have to lint around myself or duct tape or something. I am too. It's nice to see the kids getting back to useful skills. I'm sweating up a storm. It's nice to see the kids getting back to useful skills. And the old ways. The old ways are very useful. People just don't understand. I'm sweating. They've got the gas fireplace on down here. Whoa, it's hot.
It's almost off.
Yeah, it's almost off, but it got so warm in here last night. It's and I'm used to my house. Of course, with the wood stove, part of the house stays really, really warm, and then the other part stays kind of chilly. And so I'm used to a cooler house. So my thermostat's having a hard week. It had been so nasty and cold and icky, and I'd had to keep a fire to keep the house going. And but I had kind of been landlocked up the hill, so I hadn't been able to come down for a while. So it's nice to have nicer temperatures. This winter I'm not a fan. Not a fan of this winter. It just, no. I'm ready for spring now. I'm done. Enough snow. We've had literally like a whole month 5, 6 weeks of snow?
Yeah.
I'm over it.
They say we've got more coming.
Yeah, they say we're going to get more and get a couple more storms, but I'm just over it. It can go away. I'm good.
My let it snow sign down.
Mom says she's going to take her let it snow sign down. These are the quilts she's actively working on, but she's got so many. You can see all her stuff on the wall. She basically has a quilt shop in her basement. There's her big quilt machine there, and she's over on her industrial sewing machine sewing right now. So I've got so many layers here. I'm doing it by hand, and also because I'm kind of figuring out as I go. So trying to hand stitch everything, which is a pain in the butt. And since I didn't lose it. I forgot to bring down my leather sewing thread. I'll have to put anchor stitches and everything when I get home. That's okay. I'll do it. It's my fault. I forgot it. It's like wrestling an animal to get all this sewed. It really is. So many layers to get through. So many layers to get through. My video yesterday, I tell you what, if you really want to see people that are completely confused about everything, just look at anybody that's not sharing the full video of what I talked about yesterday. It's hilarious to see. And I would hope that people in America would have more context clues to something that they would throw a fit about, but we're learning very quickly that they don't care. They just want to throw a fit. Which is a very bad thing for society, because we need to stop throwing fits. And honestly, if they show you a video without sound, it's probably because they don't want you to hear the context clues. So I've been a little grumpy about, because a lot of the creators that are helping to spread lies, I'm sitting there going, I thought you were better than this. I thought you were smarter than this. I thought you had a better demeanor about you to where you wouldn't, champion a stupid cause. But you learn a lot about people when they, and if they're just doing it to get views, that's horrible, because it's still damaging people mentally and emotionally, because there's so many people out there that don't know the truth and are not going to seek it out themselves. And then if we've got other people perpetuating a lie, it's like, I don't care if you're trying to get rich, you're doing a horrible thing. So we've got a lot of creators out there that karma is going to be rough. It's kind of sad. Well, it's sad to see humans use something that could make us all so super intelligent and super linked, and they use it to create division and keep us ignorant. And it's frustrating to see that. Because I remember when the internet came when I was in high school, I was like, woohoo, we're all going to be so smart. No. No. Okay. It's kind of sad, the way that we have misused this platform and the ability to know everything about the whole world. We're stupid people. We're stupid people. And we focus on things that are stupid, and therefore we're going to continue being stupid people. And I just wish people would think before they do stupid things. But if you can look at something and you have to share it but take the sound off so that people won't see the whole event, you don't need to be that sinister. There's no reason. There's no reason. Is that a command or a request?
What? Are you saying something?
They said something to me. I was like, I don't listen very well. Okay, so now I did another batch of thread. Now we've got this much of that fourth run sewed. It's just a slow going process. Do one more anchor off here. I make a lot of dream catchers too. I make them in the old way. I make them with willow wood, and you try to use all natural stuff on there, all natural materials. I might put copper on there sometimes. I do a lot of dream catchers, but normally it's people that contact me and want one made for a specific reason. But every once in a while I'll make a few just to see if, people like them. And people seem to like them. I need to make some to put on the Etsy store for my husband, but I've got a guy across the pond that I've been finishing up some very detailed ones for him. So I've been kind of busy. Mom's ironing again. When the world is shaking, Mom's ironing. Okay, let's see. The back's coming together now. So the back's coming together. It looks like they've just harvested a bunch of fur to make their mantle. Now on this side where this is flatter, I'm going to rotate the other when I get it all sewed together. I'm going to rotate the other and put the fluffy one over here. It's going to be jagged. The sides are going to be different lengths when I get them all done. And that'll just add some, interest. And then when they have this mantle on, it will be a big bulky shoulder mantle. And it will work for a female or a male when they go to the Renaissance Fair. But I just saw where people were putting them together and making people pay $200 and something for a decent mantle. And I was like, no, I've got all these sables we're going to give somebody a different option so that they have a cheaper way to go to a Renaissance fair, not have to spend all that money, but still be able to wear fur, but not spend all that money. So I had all these vintage sables, and I thought, let's just do that. I hate to see the sables go to waste. They're still really good fur. And this is just a good option. It's just a good option. Now, I probably will. I've been begging my husband for one of his coyote hides so I can just make a full coyote one. And I'm going to be making some coyote, either coyote or otter or beaver mitts later. I haven't figured out. It depends on how he does with his water sets the last of the trapping season. And but I'm wanting to make some mitts because Mom's got an industrial machine over there, so I can use that to make some mitts. And wanting to kind of learn a little bit more, some of the more complex fur items. That's what I want to do. So, and I think I can mock up my own pattern for the mitts. I'm pretty good at mocking up my own patterns anyway, but I think I can do it. The thumb is the only part that really concerns me. But I need to go to the leather shop and get some suede. Mr. Bum and the Amish people, they have a really nice leather shop. And I try to get the accent leather that I use. I try to get it from him. And so I need to go to the leather shop and get some suede. But it's been so nasty, and the weather's been so bad. We haven't gone anywhere. I've just been stuck at home. I don't, with all my stuff that's wrong with me, I don't like the cold weather, so I don't get out in it very much. And so this winter has really just been boring. It's been very boring. You throwing your cane at me?
I did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That thing travels. It moves.
It does.
I swear it has a life of its own. If y'all wondering where Oliver is, he's in the recliner asleep. Mom's ironing again. So you can see how long this takes to sew. So I'm on my 4th run of it, and this has been about the average length, and you see how long it takes. So this is how long it takes to do this. I'm making a fur mantle for somebody to wear to like a Renaissance fair Viking thing. So making it look like they harvested like a, Viking harvested a bunch of fur and made their own fur mantle. Because they're so expensive, and I was like, hey, I've got some old fur sables. I can put them together and save you a bunch of money. So this one will go on Etsy, and if I line it or not, if I line it, it'll be a little bit more. I'm thinking about just throwing it up not lined so that somebody can really get a deal, and then they'll have, a cheaper outfit to wear to a Renaissance fair, where they don't have to spend so much money. And then I may do some nicer ones after my husband's trapping season. I can get a few full hides from him after he tans them. And then I can make some nicer ones for people that want nicer ones. But I wanted to give somebody a cheap option so they didn't have to spend so much money to go do something they enjoy. They're just, because they're like $200+ some of them. And I was just like, whoa. Well, some of them are $400+, but I ain't going to make none of those. That's insane. But when you have this stuff, you might as well use it for something. You don't. And when we buy stuff at auction, sometimes these fur mantles are always stuck in, as a bonus to the purchase. And so I thought, well, this is a good way to use them up. I normally use them as beards for gnomes when I make my gnomes, but I had a bunch left over this year. And so I thought, well, we'll just do this. Benefit somebody that's needing to go to a Renaissance fair and watch your fingers. Go onto YouTube and watch the embroidery channels, because when you get to doing some weird sewing, you use a lot of embroidery skills. Becoming really handy. So if you're looking to do some like really creative sewing, go onto YouTube and look up the embroidery channels where they teach you embroidery stitches. And that will really help you a lot in your creative stitching. So like if I were to line this, I'd have to blind stitch the whole way around it when I get it done. And that takes a little bit of time. You have to do kind of smaller stitches. But I don't know if I'm going to line it or not. I can give somebody a better price if I don't line it. But yeah, I use more embroidery stitches than anything when I'm sewing. Learn how to do a blind stitch on a hem. That comes in real handy when you're finishing stuff. So this one's going to be a rough one, so I can give somebody a really good deal. But if I were to do a really nice one and finished out, you know, the more time I spend on it, the more I have to ask for it. And of course, I'm using hides that my husband spends, you know, lots of time on tanning. You know, he traps everything and then tans everything. He takes it through the entire process. So whatever I get from him, I do try to make nicer stuff out of, because, you know, that's his time and sweat in that, and I don't want to waste it. So, but I am thinking about doing maybe some dream catchers, maybe with some fur accents. I do put bones on them sometimes. It just depends on what people want. But I'm thinking about maybe giving him some that I've done and letting him put them on his Etsy shop. See if anybody enjoys them. I normally gift them to people, or people message me or email me and they want one for a specific reason. But I wouldn't care to throw a couple out there. I think they find who they're supposed to go to anyway. Maybe I'll get this one almost done on this side. I won't get the other side done. But I was starting my crochet project this morning too. I'm just making little dinosaurs for the grandbabies. But I know how to crochet, but I don't know. Following pattern is very difficult. I know the stitches, but putting them all together and following a pattern is very difficult for me. So I'm following a pattern this time to make a little dinosaur, and just a straight crochet back and forth is not that bad, but following a pattern is new to me. We'll see if it looks like a dinosaur when I get done. I don't know. I would prefer to machine stitch, but when you have something you're guessing how to put together, you can't always do that. Mom's sewing on the big one right now. And Dad's now here.
And
Dad went out to check on somebody's cows and came back with food. Our neighborhood down here is really
I
nice.
said, at least 3 of us, I'll stop eating both of them.
I don't need one. Just go ahead and eat them.
No.
The neighbor made fried pies for
What are you
Dad.
making?
I'm making a fur mantle for somebody to wear to a Renaissance fair, because I had all these old sables I didn't use, and they bring good money, but I thought somebody could use a cheaper option so they didn't have to buy one of the expensive ones.
Road.
Dad's been out checking cattle, but I'd rather machine stitch because it goes quicker. But when you're doing this stuff, you have to go slow and look at it.
Do it with his tractor.
So it takes.
But I didn't.
Sometimes you have to
He just got. Oh, he wants to come over.
reconfigure your
And
ideas.
watch that video and take the treatment for his knee white here.
You have to reconfigure.
He wants to come kind of early in the morning, about 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I was wanting to get this one side done here before I ran out of thread, but I don't think I'm going to. No, it'll take me a whole nother run of thread. So if you're interested in making one of these for yourself, you can buy the fur and literally just sew a clasp, find a way that it drapes around you and sew a clasp to it, which is really easy. You can get a clasp for $3 on eBay, Amazon, Temu. But if you need a fur, you can go on Etsy. My husband has a Etsy shop, Hillbilly Heart Decor, and he's got some beaver hides and raccoon hides on there now, but he's fixing to put some bobcat and some other stuff on there. So he has really good prices on his fur. He traps the animals and does everything himself. We do send some out. Like if he gets super busy, we'll send some out to get done, but he does the majority of it himself. And he's going to be putting some other furs on. So if you want to make one for yourself, you can get a decent priced fur from him. Every once in a while he throws some of my craft stuff that I don't necessarily, I make a bunch, and if I think something looks really cute, I'll be like, here, you can have this back, because he buys all my craft stuff and keeps me crafting. I do a lot of hand stuff because I got really bad arthritis to the point where I'm like growing knots on my fingers. You see that? Growing knots on my fingers from arthritis. So I do a lot of hand stuff to keep my hands going, keep my fingers and stuff going. and I have a disorder that makes my joints really not good. So this has helped a lot since I've started doing more hand sewing, crafting. It's helped quite a bit. It's very hard to crochet though, because it's hard to keep the tension right. But I'm going to get it done. May take me a while, but I'll get it done. And I picked up some nature embroidery patterns, and I'm going to do some nature scenes and frame those and sell them. So they're really cute, really pretty, and I like to sit and just do something like this. It's just kind of soothing. Especially when you have to stay up and watch a fire all night. You might as well be doing something constructive. Okay, I did make it to this side. Hang on, I'll show you. And let me tie off here. It's so heavy I can't hold it up and stitch anymore, so you just can't see it till I get it finished. But I have this side done now. Let me tie my thread off. And if you would like a dream catcher specifically made for you, you can email me at watersworkload@gmail.com and kind of tell me what's going on. I do personal dream catcher. So I don't have this side sewed yet, but I've got this side sewed. And so you see when it comes down, it's all got different lengths here, and it's got to have some movement. I like that. So when they're walking, it'll have some extra movement. It looks like they just took all the furs that they caught that year, and they're putting them together. The back's going to be different colors. And just like anyone else would, they just sew them together to make a mantle. So it kind of looks like, you know, era appropriate. That was my mother's text message. No. Tom turkey, that's about it. Mom's ironing again. So this is the back. We'll have a split here, but I'm going to hook another one into it. And we'll have different shapes on the back, so it'll be interesting. It won't be just a plain edge around it. It'll be kind of pointed and have jagged spots on it. So that'd be kind of neat. Take a break for a minute. I'm sitting on this little chair and it's killing me. I'm also sewing with full nails on, so that's interesting. So if you have never seen me, hi. I come on and do lives. I've had a lot of trail traffic lately, so I do these lives, and I just stay live and let people come in because YouTube has kind of thrown me out to the algorithm lately. So I have people come in. They're really not pleasant. They're not nice. So I just open up, do lives, and you can watch me craft, have a conversation, but it lets people act out and show me who they are, how they're going to behave. Hi, simple girl, how they're going to behave, kind of what they're angling for. And then I have it logged in the live chat, their behavior. And then if I go on the next few weeks and they start showing up doing not so nice things, I can go back and check. And if there's somebody that caused problems immediately in the live, and that's just how they present themselves, I know that I can block them. They're not somebody I want on my channel. And so I call this like a baseline live. I'm getting everybody's baseline. Hi, Lighthouse Ministries. How are you doing? If everybody's coming in and wondering why they're not having like the super chats and all that stuff, it's because YouTube has currently been a butthole. And we had monetized, gotten up to, we were on track to make a little over 200 by the end of February, and we were going to get that. We were, as y'all know, we were trying to send money to North Carolina, especially with two specific churches that are doing really nice things. And all of a sudden, YouTube said, oh, wait, you've got two AdSense accounts. I said, no, I've only ever signed up once for AdSense. They said, oh, well, you need to close your account. I said, well, what happens if I close my account? Well, you'll lose all the money you've banked. You'll have to start over. No, it's not an option. So we're now fussing via email to rectify the situation. I've noticed at the same time that a lot of the trapping channels and stuff like that have been knocked off of YouTube, demonetized, or just shut down completely. And a lot of people are throwing a fit about that. And they've been on the platform for years. And I don't see how they can say you violate rules and guidelines just because somebody is emotional when they see because it's governed. There's regulations. It's completely legal. And I don't know why they won't allow it when they allow so much more on this platform that is despicable. And so I'm wondering if maybe they're just not trying to make us not want to fuss for them to monetize, but they haven't met me. So I'm fussing really hard to try to rectify the situation. So I'm trying, and I'm not closing the AdSense account because I'm like, I'm not losing that money. No. So I would tell everybody, don't do super chats, don't do anything, but just watch the videos until I know for sure that that money is going to be able to get to me to be sent to help people. Because right now, if I was to close my account, YouTube would just be able to keep it, and they're not going to do anything good with it. So it's kind of frustrating. And when the reason I think they did is because when all this occurred, then they threw me in the algorithm, and I've been having a lot of really horrible troll traffic. So really horrible troll traffic with some really horrible people saying and doing some really horrible things. And so that's why I'm doing these lives again, to try to test the waters and see how everybody behaves, and kind of have a running chat of their behavior. So if they start giving me problems, I can say, oh yeah, in that live they also said something not nice, they don't need to be here. So I call these baseline lives. That's why I'm here, and we'll just see everybody's behavior and if they're okay. But yeah, YouTube has thrown me back out into the algorithm, and I think they're just trying to wear me down, to be quite honest. But they have not met me. Used to supervise really violent offenders. You have not met me. Yeah, it's not, simple girl, it's not pleasant. And I've noticed they're doing it to a lot of, the bumpkins. I don't care to be called a bumpkin. It's what I am. They're doing it to a lot of the bumpkins. And it's just, it's just very poor business acumen for YouTube to do that. We'll just say that. 46, almost 47. Apparently everybody wants to know how old I am today. There's always like one question of the day. Always. I have very bright hair because I colored my gray the other day, and it's like really bright where I have gray. But it'll tone down in a couple days. But I do, like, I have a red cast. I have an auburn cast in my hair. Oh, I'm trying to see what I'm doing. Lord have mercy, I'm blind. Oh. Yeah, pull them down. Okay, got it. My hair is, whoo. Well, thank you, Logan. So let me work on this side a few minutes, and I'll show you when I get some more done. I think I'm going to have to take a break here soon because my hands are not doing the greatest right now. You'll probably sew down. She's ironing again. The world's shaking. You'll probably stay down here sew for a while, won't you?
Probably.
She gets down here. She doesn't want to leave. She's like, no, I'm sewing. And then you have to like bait her out of the basement. She's on her big industrial machine here. I'll show you. Let me turn this around. There's Mom. She's over there sewing on her big industrial machine. So she's got a whole little command center around her. Got some of her stuff up there she's working on. Prop my phone back up. Yeah, Mom's happy place, exactly. I worry about her coming down those stairs because those stairs are hard on me. The stairs are scary. Hi, Margaret. I started out with like close to 100 people in this chat, and let me tell you what, they've just thrown us back into the algorithm while they're trying to stop our monetization. And I'm not happy with YouTube right now. I'll just say that. But I am persistent, so we shall see who wins. I take it as a challenge. So right now I'm not monetized. They swear I have 2 AdSense accounts. I've only ever signed up once. Oh, that's a Juki. What model is that, Mom? DDL 6700.
Yeah.
Man, it'll chew something up. I could really probably sew what I'm sewing on there, but I'm trying to go slow and make sure I get all the seam folds and all that stuff. She's got an old Juki. I have used some of the old Jukis. I got a friend that's got one in the next county over, and they're awesome. They're awesome machines. They will eat anything. I've even your fingers. Mom got one. She's got an embroidery machine too. She's got a bunch of stuff in. But I even made some hats on it last spring on my friends, and then I've made a few things down here with Mom. When the world's shaking, it's because Mom's ironing. Singer.
Singer what?
Somebody said, "What do you think is the best brand of machine?"
I've got a Foff. That's
What's it? How you spell it?
that's the quilting machine.
Oh, this is a quilting machine.
And I've got
She's got an embroidery
I guess
machine.
a hybrid Singer Mom had.
Yeah, she's got a really old Singer that was Granny's.
And
Then her Juki.
and the Juki.
Got
And
a
I've got
serger
two
around here.
brother,
Two
the
brothers.
embroidery
Brothers are
machine.
pretty good. She's got a brother
And
embroidery
I've got
machine.
a smaller one that's a quilting and sewing brother machine. So, anyways, it's
I've got one of the older ones that I kind of get rotated whichever one
and
is not going to benefit anyone else because I just do regular sewing when I do it. So
3 sergers.
yeah, she got 3 sergers.
I inherited.
I had one at my house until I brought it back down here. I don't use them very often, so when I need to use them, I come down here. You have to be a flipping bomb technician to string one.
No,
Yeah, you do.
no, you didn't.
It's hard for me because I had to watch a video to learn how to do it. I watch a video for everything now. Videos are everything. It's my mom's. It's the basement. She's got basically a whole quilt shop down here in her basement.
It's a junk pile.
Gotta learn the ropes, yeah. I still need help to put it all together. So, and I put as one of my prizes in Temu. I put one of those little sewing machines, like a half to 3/4 size sewing machine. Glasses are moving. I'm just gonna see if they're any good. If I get it, which I'm working toward it. If I get it, if they don't sell out before I get my prize, I will test it and tell y'all if they work. I figured if I was gonna put a prize, it might as well be something. Yes, you have to clean all those things out, and yeah. Which I mean, I was using the serger when I was little. They'd sit me down and let me serge stuff, which is, straight razor blade coming at you, But I never had a problem with it. We always got the duty of cleaning everything out. That was like the kid role there. That was my job. I'm moving right along on this, but let me tell you what, it is hard to go through so many layers. My hands are getting very sore. As soon as I get this thread done, I'll show you where I'm at now. Lord have mercy. My fingers are getting real sore. But I want it to, it doesn't have to be perfect on the inside, but I want it to look nice on the outside so that somebody just has an option of a cheaper thing to wear. A cheaper thing to wear. I'm a cotton person. She's making baby quilts out of flannel right now. Wait, are you in the flannel?
No, I'm doing
No, she's making those little quilt squares
quilt blocks.
out of cotton right now. She's doing those cheater blocks.
No.
Well, they're quick. You don't have to cut everything out. You lay the block down and then you fold it over and do a seam, and it looks like you pieced it. It's really neat. She does the quilt as you go sometimes, but she mostly does the other kind. That's why she got this big quilt machine over here. If you ever watch my normal lives, when I'm up top, you can see a bunch of quilts behind me that she's made. Did you? I didn't know that, Margaret. That's why we think so similar, Margaret. She ran the repair alteration shop at the big dry cleaners in her area. Yeah, so you're handy. You're handy. Maybe I need to be sending you stuff to alter. Mom altered a set of leg waders for my brother the other day. And then she got very concerned because she couldn't find her seam ripper, and she realized, oh my God, it's fell down in one of the boots. And so she was calling him, trying to tell him, don't put it on, my seam ripper's in your boot. But he found it. Before he stabbed himself with it, he found it, which was hilarious. Ribbon quilts are fast. There's a few different patterned ones that are really fast too. Non-patch and log cabin. Once you get them cut, they go really quick too.
They go together as quilt as you go, real good.
Yeah, Mom does them the quilt as you go now. She's gotten to where she does that a lot. She likes it quite a bit. She really has a love-hate relationship with this machine behind me. That's why.
Yeah, I'm about ready for that.
It is it's a good machine, but it just likes to drop the thread a lot and cause a lot of problems. And
But it sews just fine when it's not up there doing a quilt.
yeah, it sews great until you start quilting. Then that's what it's made for. I don't know. She's kind of grumpy with it right now, and I yelled at it one time and it decided to sew again. Maybe she just needs to yell at it. Okay, well, got all but this is all alike on this side now, and I've got another layer to put on. So now I'm a big old heifer, so it'd fit somebody else a lot better. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, it's coming down. And then on the sides here, it will hang and have different lengths and kind of be loose. I'm going to have to fix the lining here because I thought I was going to tear it off and shred it, but they're hanging with enough movement on their own. So I'm just going to like re-secure the linings and leave them dangling. I kind of like them having odd lengths. So I think it'll look good on. I'm a big old gal, so it's not going to cover much on me, but it would cover a lot on a smaller person. I am corn fed. So, but I think it'd be pretty. I think it'd be good for a male or female. So, it'd be cute. And we're going to have at least one more round. And then on the very back, let me see here. I don't knock my phone down. I'm going to have this on the very back to have a good shape to it. So, we're moving right along with it. And it lays pretty good. I'm just really broad-shouldered. I am really broad-shouldered. So on somebody else, it would probably be about 2.5 more inches on down. So, and I really like the chain that came with this one sable, so I'm using it. But I do have other ones if I need to. So it comes apart and goes back together. But I do like it. And of course, if somebody needed it to be closer, like a younger, smaller girl, they could just choke it up. Oh, that's pretty too, isn't it? Oh. Yeah. So this will fit basically any size person. So yeah, the sables are really nice. I just couldn't, like, these are so nice, and I know they're vintage and maybe some are even antique, but I couldn't not let them, I normally use them for my beards on my gnomes, but I was like, I can't let them just go to waste. I can't, I don't want them to go to waste. So when I saw all those people making these and making them so expensive to where people can't afford them, I thought, I'm going to make somebody a bargain basement mantle so that they can go to a Renaissance fair without breaking the bank. So I'm tickled with it so far. It's kind of been a labor of love because it's really hard to sew. My hands are really tired now. But it's been a interesting project because I just have to kind of sit and think about it and look at it for a while and be like, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Look at my earrings. They look like they're little circles that come up my ear. I like them. I like them a lot. I like them a lot. I don't have any more horse blankets. I sold them on horsies. Soon as my daughter was out of the house, we sold everything. I sold all of mine before that, and I had just bought a big Poco Bueno bred gelding that was awesome, and then I had to have another knee surgery, and I sold him. He was notoriously cold-backed, and if I'd kept him, I'd have been hurt. So I passed him on to a really good rider that knew, because Poco Bueno bred horses are just grumpy if they don't work. We sold Haley's little mare. We wasn't gonna part with a little miniature Mediterranean Jack, but then this guy came up to buy the cart, and that donkey loaded himself up like 5 times. And when my daughter got home, she saw how the donkey was following around his little blonde-headed girl, and I'm sure he thought, that's my kid shrunk. And she said, "Oh, Mom." And she felt bad because she knew she wasn't playing with him and keeping him, working and interested. And she said, "Let him go." She said, "He's happy with a kid." And I was like, "Are you sure?" But now, so he's been spending in the neighboring county. Christmas parade. He did that for several years. Their grandmother got cancer, and every day the girls, they got three girls. I missed my finger. 3 girls. They got 3 girls, and the grandmother got cancer, and every day that one of the girls would go pick up the grandma because they lived next door to each other, had a big farm, and take the grandma for a ride. And the grandma, basically, that got her through her chemo treatments, and she had that to look forward to. And it was just so neat. Okay, Mickey, thank you. I appreciate you. Tips on crocheting, try not to cuss. Because that's what I want to do when I crochet. I like to crochet. It's pretty, and it's kind of instant gratification. But my hands, like you saw me miss my finger right then, my hands, because of the arthritis and all my neurological stuff I have, it's difficult. Especially the tension is difficult. And so I get very frustrated very easily when I'm crocheting. I'm eating a donut stick. I'm hungry. Mom's ironing again. The world's shaking. Margaret. Yeah, probably.
What's that?
She said, "Can you find me an equine jawbone?" Yeah, probably. Let it warm up so I can go to the farmer's bone piles. I got some cows already, I think. I got some deer. But yeah, that shouldn't be too hard to come across. I'm dropping my food. If it's dead, I can find it. That sounds really bad. I also cut, I know it's still really long, but I cut like 2 inches off my hair because my mullet had grown out to where it was really weird. So I cut a couple inches off the bottom, but it's still super long. Oh, that's Mom's Chihuahua.
He's the baby.
That's Mom's Chihuahua. I was just babysitting because she had to go to the doctor yesterday. He's like 18. He's 18, isn't he?
18, 7 months.
18 years and 7 months old. Oh, Margaret, thank you. I actually colored my hair, but where I've got gray up here, boy, it went really fluorescent. But it's toning down. But I kind of shaped my hair up because it was growing wild where that mullet was growing out. Now I've got like an old emo hairdo, but it'd grow on out. My hair is thickening back up. My thyroid blood work is not really improving a lot here lately. My TSH is still horrible, but my hair's starting to bounce back. So look at that with, a glimmer of hope. Maybe my thyroid's going to bounce back. Oh yeah, I colored it to cover my gray and where it had darkened up for the winter, because my hair gets really dark in the winter and then it gets kind of auburny, coppery in the summer. So I put a red cast on it for the winter, and it'll fade on out. It'll fade on out. But then by the time summer rolls around, it'll be growing out and getting sunburn again and be copper again. So my hair used to be not this bright, but it used to be. I used to be the same color as the limousine heifer that I showed. I have a picture somewhere. I need to share that. And then when I had my son, he was redheaded, but then my hair it darkened, and it's darkened. As I get older, it's darkened, and then as I get gray up in the front, when I dye it, which I hadn't dyed it in a couple of years. It was summer before last time I dyed it. But it makes the front really light, so I have to really give it a few days to calm down, or I have to go back and put some brown, mid-level brown on it to calm it down. But this one calmed down. I did some mid-level brown to darken at the bottom, but I was going to go back up here and do more, and it's starting to calm down, and so I'm going to let it stay and see what it does. Oh yeah, I use a lot of the good herbs. Yeah. You go to Chiweenie. I used to have a wiener dog. His name was Bogart. That's Oliver. Oliver's over there in the recliner asleep right now. Marigold. I've ate that a few times. You have to be careful with it. Get those little spikes that get in your jaw. But yeah, I've been doing everything I know to boost my thyroid, and that TSH level, everything else is kind of moving, but the TSH level is just not. And I'm afraid next time I see her, and I go in March to see her. I was going to see her in February with the winter. She was like, let's wait till March. I'm afraid she's going to say it's not improving. Let's just go ahead and take it. And I'm like, eh. And Mom's fixing to have another surgery.
We're thinking.
They think they can fix her hip. She's got torn tendons and ligaments, which is why she's got that gait. And she's been dealing with it for about 8-9 years, and none of the doctors had found it until this doctor finally found it, and her ligaments in her hips are torn. And so they can fix them. They're kind of going through the testing to see if she's going to be a good candidate for it. Your Chihuahua's name is Wilhelmina Chofalina.
Oh my gosh.
You sound like me. Oscar's name was Oscar Arlo Fiesel Waters. I miss that dog. So it's horrible. I still hear him sometimes. I swear I do. Mom's ironing again. The world's shaking. But as soon as the weather breaks, like we're getting little snippets of a good day, and then it's going to be another snowstorm, but as soon as the weather kind of levels out, then we're going to bring Hondo home and see how he does. And I have high hopes because, I've been wanted him since he was born, and wanted to bring him home last summer and got sick, and I'm just excited to get him home. I've got his food stocked up. I've got him new dishes, new bed, new collar, new tag. He's ready to roll. But this weather has been so bad, and he's used to a pack, so he'll be the only dog here. So if he throws a fit or gets really anxious, I want to be able to take him back home. I don't want to stress him out. Wilhelmina Nacho. Wilhelmina Nacho. Wilhelmina Nacho. My iambic pentameter is off today. Big time. Have you seen me and autocorrect have a horrible relationship? It creates words that don't even exist. And I'm like, why did you even put that one up there? That doesn't exist. But it throws them up there, and then I send it, and I'm like, oh. So I just give up. People that text with me and message have to speak fluent autocorrect, because me and autocorrect don't get along at all. Oh, autocorrect it happens in all my texts and stuff. It's just part of my phone, and I'm like, I hate this thing. I don't know who created it, but they didn't do a very good job. They didn't do a very good job at all. Nona. Hi, Nona. That is a very interesting last name. I couldn't say it if I wanted to. I'm sure it's beautiful. Use a spelling bee too. I always did really good in spelling bees too, but now when I type, autocorrect is like, no, you may not spell this word. I like the way you said I was a spelling bee champion. She misspelled it all. That was funny. All right, so we've done this live now. I've been thrown back into the troll traffic, the algorithm. YouTube's yanking my chain. They've took the monetization, trying to say my AdSense is messed up. It's not. I'm currently doing the email fuss with them. They want me to close my AdSense and start over, which will make us lose all the money we've banked. And y'all know we were hoping to cut a check to North Carolina since we got the revenue. And so we're fussing because I'm not willing to do that. So we're going to see if we can fix this without them terminating the buildup of the money, because we were over the threshold where we can now get paid out. And it's frustrating. I've noticed they've cut a lot of trapping and tanning channels off of YouTube. A lot of people are just emotional, and they're like, oh, this is horrible. And I'm like, it's regulated by the government, completely legal, and part of a lot of people's lives. So hush. But sadly, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. And so these people that are so pansy-fied that they can't understand somebody else's life, they're causing a lot of havoc on YouTube right now. And YouTube, sadly, is just kowtowing to them. It's really pathetic. It's really pathetic. So I'm going to keep fussing with them to fix this because I'm not willing to give that money up. I'm not willing to go through the whole banking system again. Oh, and Mom had an extra eyebrow pencil, and I did my eyebrows this morning. So everybody says I never have eyebrows. I fixed them. You can see my eyebrows now. Because, you know, ever since I worked as a parole officer and gotten that right and got pepper sprayed and had to spend 5 days in the hospital with chemical pneumonia, I rubbed my eyebrow off. And I don't have much eyebrows left. And everybody's like, you don't have any eyebrows. Well, no, ever since I got pepper sprayed, I don't. I do now. I put them on there. I'm quite tickled. Until they're there until I wipe them off, we'll say that. I don't know how long they'll last. We'll see. So I'm waiting. I'm going to try to wait this out with YouTube. I don't know if I'm really trying to be a stubborn old mule and make him come around because I know I don't have 2 AdSense accounts because I've only ever signed up once. Woo! Mom is just wreaking havoc. So I'm fussing with him. I'm trying to keep the money in the account for, you know, and David's kind of frustrated too. He knows it's probably because of, you know, we're bumpkins. It's just a sad place. YouTube is just a sad place right now. So we'll see how that works out. But since I had so many trolls and so many, like I had up to almost 100 people in here when I started, and it's just because YouTube is throwing me back out there. I guess they're trying to throw me out there and make me think this is just too much. And so I'm doing baseline lives where people can jump in. They don't know me. They just present how if their buttholes are going to be a butthole. And then if somebody gives me a problem later down the road, I can go back here and watch this live. And if they gave me a problem in this live, I know that they're not conducive to the channel. They need to be blocked. They're not going to be part of our little family here. So that's why I do these. And that's why I just leave them open while I'm doing something so that people can come on and be a turd. And we filter through everybody now. It's mostly my little family here now. And that's why I'm doing these. So if y'all wonder what's going on, I'm just trying to filter out. I know that it's not anything David wants to do, so I'll do it. But Margaret, let me give you a wrench, and you can help me when you're here. You can mod. You don't ever feel like you have to be here, but when you are here, you can now help me mod. I don't. We'll see. But there, now you have a wrench, Margaret. So nobody, like if I do for some reason get the super chats, don't send super chats, just watch the videos because I want to make sure that your money's actually going to get to David so we can cash it out and get it to North Carolina. I don't want YouTube to get everybody's money. So that's where I'm at. So now you have a wrench, Margaret. So, but that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to just make sure that we've got a good group of people here and that I can go back and see if it's somebody that's been causing me problems and weed them out. And had one that started emailing me, and I finally said, listen, you don't want to do that. And had to tell them why they didn't want to do that. And so they decided they would leave me alone. Oh, look what Mom's done while she's been sitting here. Show you. That's what she's done while she's been sitting here.
No, I had 4 done. 4 or 6.
So there. That's her happy place right there. Wave, say hi. So there's some of her projects. There's her little scrap bin where she's actively currently working. There's her industrial machine. And this is another. And then these are what she's got done and needs to be quilted. This is a dress I've got down here to be fixed. And then her quilt machine's behind me. It's like a quilt shop down here. It's really a quilt shop. It's a quilt shop. This is a good use of the space, though. It really is. Dad's got a entertainment system, a center, and a recliner over there, which Oliver is flat back in the recliner right now, just snoring. Little Chihuahua's just taking a nap. Well, Margaret, now you can just, if you see somebody causing havoc, you can just go, nope, nope. If people's been with me for a while and I trust them, I don't care to give them a wrench. But I would just, this last week, since YouTube threw us to the wolves. The trolls have been horrible, and it's not anything David wants to deal with. And he's, he does his videos, but he's not going to have the patience to get on here and do this. So I thought, well, it's something I can do in my free time. I don't care to weed them out. But it is sad that people jump online and do that. What fridge? Is there a fridge? There's a fridge way over there, but I didn't show it. The 2 cows that we fed in the summer, I said we're going to go feed the hamburgers. They're in the freezer now.
2 freezers in here.
There's 2 freezers and a cannon area over there, but I only showed you the other side. Oh, I'd say so. Well, see, they've got Cumberland Playhouse about an hour that way from us. And I know people that work in their costume department, and they get to do some really neat stuff sometimes. So I don't know if I would be able to hang out there, though. They got some really diva people. I'd be like, hold ye horses. Get off your high horse. Simmer down. I'm making it at my time. But yeah, they do quite a bit of really creative sewing over there, and I'm like, ooh, I like to see what they're making, but I couldn't work there to save my life. Well, it's too far to travel for one, but it would be neat, to have them see if you can make this and this. It would be neat to be challenged. But if I could count on my body to not turn into a potato, so I could get there and home, it would be different. But I have those little freeze ups. How many you got? 2, 4.
2, 4 right now. I'm still counting.
But all together, you've got
Yeah, but this is another one that I started.
2, 4, 6, 10. Indonesia. That is far away. See what I did there? That's funny. Oh, I'd say not, because who would ever get to see certain materials like that ever again? No, if I swept the floor, I keep the scraps too. Nobody got my joke. That was a funny joke. His name's Fahar. He said hello from Indonesia. I said, that's Fahar away. I thought that was pretty good. That was half. Half. I'm a half and half. I'm a half and half. And thank you. I appreciate that. So we've been on here for like an hour and a half now. I have gotten another run on this. It's very thick sewing. It takes a while to do. I'm fixing to take a break. And then I'm going to come down and try to do the last ring later. And then we'll try to finish up the fine-tuning stuff, putting the linings back on and making sure everything's secure. I'm going to try to put it up without putting a full lining on the back, just because I can put it up cheaper for people. So if they want a cheap fur mantle for a Renaissance fair or something, then they'll have a cheap fur mantle. Then if nobody buys it, then what I'll do is I'll take it off and line it. But then it'll be more expensive, because if I have to spend the time lining it and then blind stitching it, it will be more expensive. So we'll see. I think somebody will enjoy it. I think it'd be good for a Renaissance fair. I think it'd be a good costume option when you're just getting ready. I made it completely out of vintage sables. Didn't want to see them go to waste. So, and I'm a big old heifer, so this would cover somebody else a lot more. But it'd be good for male or female. And we'll get the last rung on and get the divot on the back so it has some interest back there. And I think it'd be very pretty. It'd go in David's Etsy shop. And just trying to help him out, because he's not been working a lot lately because the weather was so bad that they called him off. The diesels wouldn't work. They couldn't dig in the ground to lay the fiber optic. So he's not had a whole lot of work lately. So I'm just trying to do anything I can to help him, because he's angry. The man likes to work. He does not like this at all. He's very grumpy. He's been kind of mad. He's like, I shouldn't have left where I was. But that factory was getting so toxic with so many people that were dependent on so many drugs, and they were so just crazy. And I was like, no, I'm much happier with you where you are now. But and we had money put back. And the thing is, we didn't anticipate this winter, because we don't have these winters down here anymore, do we? No, we have pretty mild winters here. And this winter has been like an Arctic tundra. And so there's, they call the work crews off. Number one, when it's dangerous for them, which has been pretty much the last few weeks. And number two, when the diesels won't start and when they can't dig to lay the the line. So it's been a horrible winter. So I'm going to toss this in his Etsy store. And if you want to try to make your own, he's got hides in there. He's going to be putting some bobcats on next week, probably some coyotes. You can get your well-priced hide. The Etsy store is Hillbilly Heart Decor. And you just go search Hillbilly Heart Decor or just start looking for fur and you can find the shop. And so, I mean, he buys all this stuff and lets me craft. So I figure if I make something, he can have it to sell. But I'll fine tune it over the next couple of days and get it listed. I'm going to try to finish the last rung tonight. And I think it'd be neat. Like if I was going to a Renaissance fair and I didn't want to spend $200, $300 on a mantle, I'd be like, sure, yeah, I'll take that one. So hoping to give somebody a bargain basement price. Real fur, really nice, vintage, good quality, and just an option. I don't want to see them. I'm like you, Margaret. I don't want to see them going to trash. They're too nice. So we just got to find something to do with them, and I think that's what I'm going to do from now on, because every time we do an auction on some kind of lot for stuff that we work with, there's always a fur sable in there. And I'm just like, okay, sure, this is what I'm going to do with it. I normally make gnome beards, but this is a good second option, I guess. And I've kind of made as many gnomes as I'm going to make this year. I'm gnomed out. Really am. I like them, but I made a couple hundred one year, and I can't. No, I kind of hit my gnome quota. So we'll try to get this finished. May try to do another live when I do the fine tuning when I'm back up top. But I definitely show it to you.
They're at the doctor. She just texted me. They're waiting to go in to see Davita. That's what Davita is.
So I'll do another live when I do the fine tuning, and I'll definitely show y'all what it looks like when I get done. So that's where I'm at with this one, and I did start a crochet. I'm going to be doing some nature embroidery and framing them and selling them as well. David bought them, so when I get them done, I'll just give them to him. He'll put them in the shop. So if you want to go on Etsy, it's Hillbilly Heart Decor. And if you want a personalized dream catcher, email me at watersworkload@gmail.com. It's all one word, watersworkload@gmail.com. Put dream catcher in the subject line so I know. And we're just trekking on. Maybe the weather will change. I mean, we're having a nice week this week, but maybe the weather will perk up and winter will stop. Maybe spring will come early because I'm over this. But I've been kind of stuck in the house, and this is the first time the weather's been nice enough for me to come down. So we're on the farm this week. So, well, thank you, Margaret. You always make things fun when you're here. You always have interesting things to say. So, okay, I'm going to shut up. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Thanks for hanging out until all the trolls filtered through. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for subscribing if you did so, and coming back to see me if you're already a sub. It's really, I appreciate it. You don't know how much I appreciate it. And we'll work through this thing with YouTube. I am persistent, if nothing else. So we're going to get through this with YouTube. But that's why you don't see the monetization. David's frustrated. I'm frustrated. I don't understand what they're saying in the emails. I'm trying to help sort this out. I have an idea what they're doing, and it ain't gonna. So we're gonna try to get through this. But if you want to support Dave in any other way, you still have the Etsy store, and we'll get this sorted out eventually. And it was our goal next month to be able to. We were supposed to have a little over 200 estimated if things went like they were going, and we were going to be able to send quite a bit. We were going to send it to that Deep River, that guy. He's got a really nice pasture that's doing a lot of good over there. And so we're still trying to get through this issue and keep that goal. So we'll see if that happens. It's irritating. So right now we're back to basics, and they're kind of holding what we earned hostage. I'll let you know how that ends up. It's frustrating. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. We'll do this again soon. And when I finish this, y'all will be the first to know with pictures. Bye, guys. Miss Oscar. This is where Oscar comes in.